Welcome to Six in the Six. Tonight's fabulous guest, Rebecca Hoffman. Yay, freshman goalkeeper for the Roberts Wesleyan women's soccer team. Becca, hello and welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I've been waiting to get you on here and get into your mind and see what ticks in there.
I've been waiting for this to happen too.
So how was your break? Did you enjoy your time off?
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice to spend time with family and friends.
The kind of halfway point of the freshman year. It must have been a good time to kind of relax and not worry about the academic side of things for a while.
Definitely was. It was a nice break to
Now,
do anything.
now that you're all experienced as a collegiate student, what are you looking forward to in the spring here?
I'm looking to playing for soccer again. We start tomorrow, so I'm super excited about that. Um, I'm excited for this upcoming spring season because I don't know what to expect really, so that'll be interesting. Heard a lot of people talk about it, that they're excited and nervous, so mixed emotions about it. Um, I don't know. I'm hoping that I'll get some playing time in the spring. I don't know. We'll see.
Um,
I'm excited.
yeah, excited. The unknown. Why are people nervous, do you think?
I don't know. I've just been getting this vibe from people that they're nervous. I'm like, oh, okay.
I mean, you went through the intense fall season when
I
everything
know.
matters in terms of standings and
I know.
seedings.
So I don't know what people are really nervous about, but I'm
Yeah.
excited.
It's like improvement season.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So, Becca, what I
Yes.
want to know, and I ask every goalie that gets on here, is how did it all begin? What made you decide to stand in front of that huge net and jump in front of things that are kicked very hard at you?
Oh man. Well, to be honest, I would have never thought that I was going to be a goalie. I was always like afraid of like being put in net, but originally I started on the field playing and it was in 5th grade when I tried out for my first travel team and I didn't make the team that I wanted to make. So, I played with this other team and I was a field player, but then the one day our goalie needed a sub. So they threw me in there. I was like, "What? I don't know what I'm doing. What's going on?" But actually I ended up liking it. And so I kept playing on the field for a bit, but then they kept subbing me in for goalie, so I ended up really liking it. And then um that became my new position. So
So they kept
yeah.
subbing you in. Was it just were you overtly enthusiastic about playing that position, or
Not,
were you doing
not
really well
really.
in there and they were like, oh, we can't take her out?
I think I was doing, I'm gonna say better than the other goalies, so that's why they put me in. So we weren't the best team, I'm gonna be honest. We were not great. But so yeah, they were like, we're gonna put you in. I'm like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. So I actually the next year I ended up trying out for that team that I didn't make again, and I didn't make it again. So then I kept practicing, I played with a different team, I kept training, and then I made it finally in the 3rd year. So
Did you make it as a field player or as a goalie?
as a goalie,
Nice.
yes.
So the being slightly better than the girl you were replacing, that probably gave you the confidence, which made it more enjoyable for you, and your success probably just kind of built on itself from there, I would imagine.
Yep, it did.
What
So
you when you were a field player, you didn't really want to play goal. You were kind of afraid of it back there. What about the position made you like, oh, I don't think I want to do that?
I think just the fear of getting hit and pummeled by balls like really scared me. But like then I don't know, I ended up liking it and I liked the adrenaline and like making a save and I don't know, I ended up liking it better than playing on the field.
I think there might be an interesting mindset thing in here because then fifth grade, you don't make the one team, you get to the other team,
Yeah.
suddenly you're called on to be goalie and you've never done this before and you're not sure how to do it and you don't want to get pummeled with balls. And I mean, how did you approach, okay, I'll do it, and you stood in there with no clue what to do? How did do you remember how your mindset was and how you got yourself to be like, okay, this is what I'm going to do?
I think just like doing it for my team because, we weren't the best, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give it all that I got and just try my best. This is not my position. I've never played this before, but I'm gonna step up and play it. So
I, I
I think that was my
definitely
mindset.
I definitely see that mindset in you today as well.
Uh,
But I think so. Tell me though, because I think what happens is I can see that under there, but then as we go through and we experience setbacks and successes and stuff like that through the different levels and through your journey there, our mind starts to get full of, I'll call it clutter.
yeah,
And you start to doubt yourself and there's a whole
yeah.
bunch of stuff going on. So talk a little bit about, even though I can still see what you just told me, what has kind of gotten in the way and that you've had to fight through up from then till now?
So I am very hard on myself. I get in my head a lot, and I think I just get overwhelmed with a lot of things, like, especially this past season, I was overwhelmed with school and soccer and the work that I needed to do. So I think that really played in the way of, like, my mindset. And I would constantly overthink and, like, self-criticize, like, my mistakes and, like, picking apart every little thing that I was doing. So that just it really was not working for me because I couldn't perform well. And so I literally needed to break it up in my head just to focus on saving the ball. Just focus on that, nothing else. Just focus on the ball, focus on your job. And I even struggled that with that when I was learning to be goalie because I would just get so in my head, and even my coach would just be like, just focus on the ball, focus on one thing. So, and I still struggle with that, as you know, but it happens sometimes. But just reminding myself like what's in front of me, what can I concentrate on to help me stay focused.
I think sometimes we can tend to overcomplicate the position with our self-talk and what we're telling us, whether that's, boy, it needs to be done this way. This is the proper technique for it. And at the end of the day, you said it's kind of see the ball and save the ball. I always wonder, is there such thing as an ugly save?
I think so, but I know you don't.
I mean, to me, a save's a save, and usually when
I
they're
know.
ugly, you did something perhaps a little extraordinary to actually make the save. Whether who knows, maybe you got yourself in a funny position and had to do something
Yeah.
crazy. But so, yeah, I don't know. There's odd looking saves. I'm not sure a save's ever ugly though.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I don't know. That'd be a first, but I think the other thing you hit on, and maybe it's why you navigated to being a goalie, because most goalies I know have this perfectionist streak in them, and
Yeah.
it's funny because it goes to results, and a result can be right. I expect to save every single shot, and obviously, it's not a great expectation on ourselves. It's not really possible. Great to strive for. How have you learned to balance kind of that perfectionist, I must do everything right, with understanding that you're playing really well, even though every once in a while you're not happy with something?
Right. I think I just like when I'm having those bad days, I think I just try and um have positive self-talk, like I know I'm not doing great right now, but let's just focus on one thing and let's try and do this good, you know? Um I don't know. I constantly have to like reassure myself like I'm okay. I'm going to be good. I can do this. So I think that also helps me. Um Yeah. Also, I think like reflecting after practice helps me too, like on how I performed, like thinking, what can I do better? What can I do better next time, you know? So,
Yeah, I like that. I like the reflection, and I think it's important as well to reflect upon what we did well during whatever a session, a game, because a lot of times we kind of breeze right over. Hey, Becca, how'd you play today? Oh, I did really good today, and you get a pat on the back. Oh, that's awesome, good job, right? But we never really take the time and say, why did I do well today? Because I think it helps us in those times when we're struggling a little bit. We can be like, oh, I remember last week I was doing that awesomely, and I can kind of draw on that mental anchor, if you will.
right.
So I think that reflection's huge. The other thing I really like what you said is focus on something tiny you're doing well, because I think that's a great technique for us to get our confidence back slowly, which starts to
Yes.
build out a little bit. So
I remember I would like get caught on these little things and Nick and Yenser caught on to that and they both like came to me separately, like, just focus on one thing. Just focus on one thing at a time. I was like, you know what? You're right. I'm just focusing on too much right now. So grateful for them
yeah, let's
to
check
remind me of
that
that.
out. So Nick Yenser, yourself, goalie world, three goalies. I love it. It's just a great community. I think you three work together so well with each other, support each other, push each other, help each other. How important to you was it coming into an environment as one of three, being the newest member of that three? How important was that support and that advice and the years of experience that Nick in particular has?
It was they were both so welcoming. Like I was very nervous, I'm not gonna lie. And just coming to them both being so nice and welcoming and it was so nice. I haven't had the best relationship with the past goalies, but I was just shocked on how nice and welcoming they were, you know, like they just welcomed me in and they they just push me every day to do better and they're always there for me and I just love training with them.
What do you feel you bring to that team dynamic?
Um, since I'm kind of younger, I felt like in the beginning I couldn't do much to help them, but I was completely wrong because I just as they push me, I need to push them as well, and I need to be cheering and supporting them. And yeah, I realized that I do play a part, even being a freshman.
Absolutely. A, a valuable part. Yeah, let's go back to Lewiston Porter High School.
Oh dear.
Oh yeah, that was so long ago. What, 2 years?
It
A year and a
it
half?
feels long ago.
So I believe you were you on varsity 4 years there?
So, yes, but I was pulled up in 8th grade to play for sectionals.
Was that a pull up kind of e- e- experienced the surroundings and did you get in on that sectional?
I actually did get in like the last 15 minutes of a game leading up to sectionals. So,
Nice. Um, and what were you a captain your senior year?
yes, I was.
How tell us a little bit about the experience of being a captain of the team as a goalie. Was it difficult leading from inside your 18? What kind of challenges, what kind of things were really cool about that position for you?
It's definitely different because there was the two other captains were a midfield and then a forward. So, I, I had to use my big loud voice to communicate with everyone. But it was kind of different because some teammates respected me and some others didn't respect me as more they respected the other teammates or the other captain, sorry. But I didn't let that affect me in my position as being a leader. So I just kept doing my job, kept bringing up my team and cheering them on and communicating with them. So, I definitely did have some struggles here and there, but I think all captains and every teammate, is going to go through that type of stuff. So,
Yeah, do you
but I am
feel
definitely, oh, go ahead.
no, no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Do you feel some of the fieldies maybe didn't respect your leadership because you were a goalie and they maybe didn't appreciate the value you brought in that role?
I do think that, yes.
What were you able to kind of learn from that and bring forward or even apply to the position? How did that help you as a be a better goalie?
Um, it definitely just pushed me to keep doing good, keep being myself. It's it it was unfortunate that they didn't respect me, but I I couldn't worry about that. I just had keep having to do my job, keep trying to do good for my team, even if they didn't give that back. But, it definitely helps me to be a leader and to deal with difficult people. And that happens sometimes. So
More than sometimes.
yeah.
So speaking of dealing with difficult people, education major. I,
Oh
I
yeah.
I feel like you're getting yourself into a profession where you on a daily basis are dealing with difficult situations caused by little people.
I am. I sure am.
Do you see any correlation between like some of the leadership and some of the skills you've learned from the athletic field that can you bring into that classroom setting? I know you're still early on in that journey there, but can you see the benefit of some of those lessons?
Oh, definitely. Like as as I would direct my team, I can help direct my students, help them communicate with them and give them advice and encourage them. Definitely. There's a lot of skills that I can bring into the education field.
How do you feel some of those skills you've maybe brought into the Roberts environment? Being the youngest member of the goalie, what is it, triad three, whatever that word is, and even the bigger team in general. I know you have the respect of your teammates and things, and I mean, how have you been able to use some of those skills you learned early on to help develop those relationships?
I think just trying to be very encouraging and uplifting to my teammates and recognizing that we all have bad days and just making sure that, I check in with those teammates who might have a rough time or going through something because I've been there. And so I always make sure that I check in with them and be like, hey, like you're doing good, just keep up the good work. So I just really want to help my team, cheer them on, support them, do what I can for them, you know?
I definitely, from where I stand during practices and games, I definitely see that played out. I would definitely put you in the good teammate category. Um, so
Thank you.
yay. Let's talk about how you better yourself. Um, in terms of like educating your goalie brain, what kind of things do you do to keep, either current or push yourselves? Or do you strictly kind of rely on Nick and Yenser and kind of goalie world? Do you watch a lot of other games? I mean, just how do you keep absorbing information for yourself?
Right. Definitely Nick and Yancer are a huge help. Sometimes I just like to watch like top saves and like I'll watch like different goalie trainings and stuff. Like I really find those interesting. But sometimes I like to watch these like motivational goalie videos. I don't know. Like before when I was younger, before every game, I would watch it and like prepare myself for the game and just be like, yeah, I'm ready to go. Like get me hyped up. So I try and find different ways to help, educate myself on different skills and fundamental things that I can work on and how I can improve on them. So
I think you can enter a crazy world of social media goalie drills
Yes.
My problem with a lot of them is there's not a lot of context behind them of like why they're being used. Or my
Yeah.
biggest, I love the ones that aren't very game related.
Yeah, I know.
You're crawling under burning hurdles and hopping over rivers of alligators, and then you're making some kind of crazy top
Yeah.
hand extension save.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, what do you how do you as you're going through and watching those, how do yourself do you balance like, oh, that's really funny. I'd love to try that one, but I'm not sure it's helpful. I mean, how do you weigh those when you're watching them?
Right. I guess I just would put myself in their shoes on like what they're doing. I'm like, yeah, that might be good for footwork, but it's not really game realistic. So just like picking out different parts of the video that I can find beneficial for me, I
Yeah,
guess.
I think that's a good point because I think any bit of information we get, whether it's from a different coach, a different video, I think we can take it in and kind of process it and use it to create our own unique selves. I like to say a lot, we're not making robots. I don't expect you three to make the same save in the same way
Right.
because all three of you are different,
Right.
right? So I think that's another good point you made. Um, let's switch gears a little bit. Mistakes, or at least what you perceive to be a mistake. Um, how why is it important, one, to let those go? And an interesting question for the perfectionist here who likes to get on herself a little bit. But what's the importance of letting that go? And you mentioned like reflecting on it again. One of the things I don't particularly care for is that quote saying you need a memory of a goldfish. Because
Yeah.
I think in the moment it's good to do that, but I also think we need to
Right.
store that information. What are your thoughts about the importance of letting it go and being able to pull it back up?
Right. I think that I definitely need to practice letting it go more because I will get caught on it. And if something else happens and it just keeps piling up, I'll just keep criticizing myself. And that just doesn't help me at all. So I really just need to just be like, okay, yep, I messed up, but I'm going to do better next time. Just want to refresh because I will just keep getting caught up on it and just um, criticizing myself. So it's just not going to do me any good.
Yeah, I think we never get over the first one, and then it's easier to make the second one and the third one, and it's
Yeah,
just a downward spiral. At some point, you've
it
got to kind
really
of
is.
boom.
Break it.
Um,
Yeah.
how do you balance that letting it go or working on letting it go? And then, do you apply the 24-hour rule to yourself and you bring that back up when maybe you're a little less emotionally involved? How do you pull those up and reflect on them? And you mentioned earlier, right? How could I do that better? What am I going to work on in practice today?
Right. So I think that in the moment, I just need to put it on pause. And then after practice is when I really like to think about it, be like, okay, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that. I could have done something else. But yes, I need to work on it. But it'll come with time.
Well,
But yeah, I think reflecting afterwards, like while it's still fresh in my brain, and then give it like a minute. Okay, you can think about it for a minute and then move on, not being too caught up on it.
I really like that technique. Put a timer on your frustration or your whatever you want to call it, because you know, I think sometimes us as coaches like to say, oh, just have a memory of a goldfish, just forget about it, oh, just get your confidence back and get the next one. And it's not really quite that easy. It's like, yeah, I'll play with confidence. And then you're like, hold on, what does that mean? I don't know. We all of us have to work on that constantly. So don't feel like special over there that you hold all the keys to that problem. Um, so when you think of a really good goalie, um, someone you look up to. I mean, it can be at the international level. It could be a coach. It could be someone else in goalie world, right? When you look at someone who really has some attributes you'd like to have, what do you think some of those quote unquote best qualities of a goalie are?
Um, I think they're being a leader, leading their team, but also being encouraging and being loud and just really supporting their team, playing their part. I think Nick and Jens are a perfect example of both of those. You know, they I look up to them and I think they have those attributes for sure.
How have you tried to like channel some of those attributes you find important and get them into your game? What persona does Becca take on when she's trying to emulate I don't know, super perfectionist goalie?
Um, a lot that both of them are really on me about being louder. I'll have Nick like behind me, she'll be like, be loud, scream, just be loud. And then I have Jens who's also saying that too, but I was just like, I'm trying, I'm gonna get there one day, But just I guess being more comfortable, I don't know, just being more comfortable with the team and finding my voice.
You know, it's interesting because it's on record from about 8 minutes ago on here that you were talking about your loud voice on your high school team.
I I was. I know, I need to get it back. I do.
I want to hear it in the spring.
Okay, you're gonna.
Okay, nice and it's got to be upfield to the team, not just right at my
Okay.
face.
Okay. It
All
will
right.
be.
All right. People are going to watch this and they're going to hold you accountable for that.
Oh God.
Don't worry. It's like all five people that might see this. So you're
Oh,
probably
stop.
you're probably okay. So we talked about a little bit about that confidence, focusing on the little thing to kind of rebuild it. Confidence is a funny thing. It kind of like comes and goes, and sometimes it seems to have a mind of its own. Um, do you get like advanced warning when you feel like it's about to leave? Um, how it's and how do you react to that? Like, is it due to something you perceive to be a mistake? You're like, oh man, here comes my inner voice again. How do you manage that in the moment?
It's it's hard because I feel like when I feel like I'm doing good or I make a good save, like my confidence goes up. But then if I make a mistake, then I make another one, and then another one, it just keeps going down. So just finding that balance of trying to keep my confidence up even after when I make mistakes is something that I need to be better at for sure, because that is one of the main factors on why I lose confidence is after making a mistake.
And how often do you like work on the skill set, what do you the micro skills, if you want, under that confidence to keep that up, like working on the little things, managing that self-talk. And I ask because we talk a lot about, mindset mentalities, like 80% of you, 90, whatever the percentage is. And yet a lot of times we don't work it. We work on making our saves and we work on all of that. Um, do you find time to do that stuff outside of practice, or is it kind of very in the moment focused?
Um, I think I would say both. Like outside, I'll do self positive talk affirmations like I am a good goalie. I can do hard things. I can make good saves. And kind of reminding myself when I'm in net too. I am a good goalie. I can do this. I believe in myself. I'm here for a reason. So I think just both inside and out doing those things has helped.
I like it. Little affirmations of, oh, I got this. Um, One of my favorites is bring it on.
Yeah. Bring it on.
Oh man, here comes their top scorer, one on me. Come on, bring it on.
Right. Exactly.
And then you go out and you foul her. What's a yellow card? I mean, you can get two of them.
Fine.
You can,
Right.
it's all good. Um, so interesting enough, as a leader, having been a leader of your high school team, being goalies are leaders just by their nature, I feel. Um, let's talk about being humble. Um, and humble is another one of those things that, like, it's easier to be humble when you're, maybe not at the top of the mountain and at the top of your A game. But how important is kind of balancing that drive to improve yourself constantly with being really humble about that? And how does that play out for you on the field?
Right. I think that you know, like I want to push myself to be harder, but also keeping it within me and not, bragging about, oh, like I did this really good, but also uplifting other people too, not just myself. Like we all have a part on the team. So it's not just me. There's other people on the team too. So just I think pushing everyone is how I stay humble and hungry.
And hungry. Way to add that into there.
And hungry.
And what I kind of liked about that, and I didn't really think of it until you were talking about that, if we're all of us in a team environment, having that humble and hungry, but
Mm,
supportive to our teammate thing, it's like you don't need to worry about being uplifted or let's say boasting about your accomplishment, because the girl next to you is going to be like, "Oh, Becca, that was awesome."
right.
And you'll be doing it to someone else. I didn't really think of it in that light until you kind of said it that way. So thank you for adding that little nugget up into here.
Welcome.
I'm gonna use it in the spring.
Okay, great.
Um, so one of the things, you see stickers at your sports, your life. Let's say for us, soccer is life. Maybe it's on your t-shirt, maybe it's on your car, maybe it's who knows where it is, right? I'm kind
Yeah.
of, yeah, yeah, okay, maybe not really. I know what they're trying to get at, and I like the kind of rah-rah aspect of it, but we need to step away and get breaks from it if we're not going to burn out or get too hard on ourselves. Um, what are some of the ways you handle the day-to-day pressure in the trainings, or just, in the grind of the fall season? How were you able to kind of within the environment handle that? And what did you do maybe to get out of that and enjoy yourself and get some pressure off?
Right. I definitely did struggle with that in the beginning. I was very like stressed out 'cause of school and soccer, and that affected how I played at soccer. And I started realizing that, and I was like, I can't keep doing that to myself. Like I'm just it's not helping me at all. So I realized that, I could be stressed out before soccer, but when it comes to soccer, I'm focusing only on soccer, focusing when I'm there. But then when I'm done, I can worry about other stuff. So I think just separating those two pressures definitely helped. And sometimes before practice, I would just like listen to music or meditate or do yoga to try and really help get into that mindset of playing soccer.
If you were to think of one song, you could only put one song on, play it before. What one would you choose to relax you, and what one would you choose to fire you up?
Oh gosh. You're putting me on the spot right now.
Well, this whole thing's about putting you on the spot.
Why? Two songs to relax me.
One to relax, one to
Um,
fire you up.
can I say just like meditation music, like
Okay,
to relax me?
it's your music. I don't
Okay,
judge.
I'm gonna say that. And then to get me just like, I don't know, any rap song, any.
Okay.
Hype music, I don't have a particular one, sorry.
It's your music. You can put on
Yeah.
random rap stuff. I'm good with that.
Okay, yeah.
As
I'm
long
gonna
as
say
it's
that.
got some, you mentioned hype music, as long as it's got some teeth to it and gets you
Yeah.
fired up.
Oh, yeah.
I love these pregame music tapes that are like sleepy country ballads, and you're like, well, how's this firing
Mm.
you up?
No, not that. Not no, nothing like that.
But I like the song, coach. I'm like, I like the song too, but is it really helping you right now?
Not right now. It's not the right time.
Oh, um, okay. Top three, my top three section here.
Oh
So
dear.
incoming incoming goalies, right? Or let's say a high school goalie looking at schools to go to be a goalie in. What would be
Yeah.
your top three things you would tell them to, kind of want or look for as they're making a choice?
Mm. Okay. Well, um, I think one of my top three things would be um really liking the team culture, when I came to an no, it wasn't ID camp. I toured here and then I watched practice. So I kind of got a feel for how the team played together. And then afterwards I went to dinner and a lot of the girls were very welcoming, like would talk with me and show me their dorm rooms after. So I felt welcomed. So making sure that you feel welcomed and you like the team culture. Um the second thing is I would have to say is the coaches. The first thing that stood out to me coming here was you. I remember being here. Yeah, you. I remember coming to the ID camp and I just remember instantly clicking with you, like I just felt like we had a good vibe together and you're very like lifting and goofy and I just loved it. I was like, I want to come here. So I think you definitely helped my decision coming here. Um, a third one. Hmm, I don't know. I guess I was interested that, this team had a goalie coach because I know some other teams didn't have a goalie coach, so that was really important to me.
Isn't that surprising?
Um, yeah. Well, because some other teams didn't. I'm like, hmm. So, also I met Nick and Yenser at the IG camp, and they were both very nice to me then, even though they didn't know I was gonna commit there. So I think I, started having a good relationship with them then too. So I knew that I was like, this is gonna be good. I'm gonna have fun training with these guys. And I
Yeah,
do.
I think I like those answers. And I think if maybe more people paid attention to those, maybe there wouldn't be so much activity in the transfer portals. Um,
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah.
Okay, second part of the top three question. So you've committed, you've loaded into your dorm room, you're set to go. First week of practice, before your first fall season as a freshman gets to. What are the
Oh, yeah.
top three things they should know?
Ooh. Okay. The top three things. You're gonna feel nervous before the first practice, but I reassure you, you're gonna be fine. It's gonna be good. You might be really nervous and worked up about it, but afterwards you'll be like, oh, you know what? That wasn't that bad. So I would say that. Second thing, really put yourself out there. I wish I kind of talked to other teammates more, but I'm like, I'm a freshman, so I just kind of stayed with the other freshmen. But I kind of wish that I was open to talking to my other teammates. Like slowly during the week I would do that, but I wish I did it like right off the bat, because a lot of them did talk to me, but I wish I was more open and out there. So definitely putting yourself out there. Um, Also just like doing things. I really hope that this next fall that we do more team bonding because I feel like I didn't really know the team that well. I was playing soccer with them, but I didn't really know them. And so and the other freshmen kind of went home during preseason, so it was just me and my roommate. So we got to hang out a lot, which was great, and we bonded very quickly. So I feel like if we were to do more team bonding, that would just be good for the overall team.
Yeah, I
So
feel that's kind of in line with maybe putting yourself out there a little bit and making those relationships off the field, which obviously are going to help on the field.
oh, for sure.
Um, saying that piece of it and being one of your top threes, are you going to be a little more outgoing to the incomings this fall to make
Oh
them
yeah.
maybe not feel the way you did in that regard?
Yes, for sure. Um, I kind of wish that the other girls would invite us to do things like after practice was done, but I don't even know if they were doing anything either, but like we kind of just did our own thing. So I'm definitely going to reach out and be welcoming to the freshmen. I know they're gonna probably be shy and scared, but I know I was in that position, so I feel like it would be better for them if I were to be friendly and welcoming and, inviting them to do stuff.
Maybe take your gloves off so you're not coming across like an overbearing old sophomore
Yeah.
goalie. Come here, freshie.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll wash my hands before I go near them too.
How many times? I don't think one time helps with those gloves.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Your roommate must love you. Do you leave them out in the hallway?
Oh, I do. I do. I feel bad because I'm like, she said good thing. But I
Uh,
did just get I just ordered a new pair, so I'm
oh,
excited for
sweet. I
those to
can't
come
wait to see
in.
them.
I know. So,
Last thing, I want to respect your time. We've been on a while. Um, Looking back to your fifth grade self who just got asked to play goal, you were like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to do it. I don't think I want balls shot at me. Blah, blah, blah. Knowing what you know where you are now, what would you tell her?
I would tell her that this is going to be the best decision that you have made, agreeing to play in goal and realizing that you have learned a lot of life lessons through this position, just to keep encouraging myself to keep sticking with it and, just keep believing in myself.
Boom, I love it. Drop it.
Boom.
Bam. Um, Becca, thank you for being on. I love getting into your head a little bit. I spend a lot of time with you, but I never get in your head.
I don't know. Some days I feel like you do.
Well, maybe it's in a different way though. It's not like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, thank you for agreeing to do this. Get out of your comfort zone a little bit. I know. I appreciate you for doing it. And I
Thank you
will
for
be
having me.
absolutely. I will be seeing you in the back soon.
Oh, yeah. Can't wait.
All right. See ya.